Hello, everybody. How y'all doing? Hope everybody is doing wonderful. Well, it's Tuesday. I have some people lined up, but we're still working out all the kinks for highlighting women in business. And so until then, we're just going to keep filling in. We're going to be persistent. We're going to keep it moving. So as you all see, I put flipping the script and I put the topic, the proposal. And what provoked this conversation was a video that I received on yesterday via Messenger. And in the video, there was a setting at a restaurant, like family and friends were sitting around the table. And there was a young man sitting on one end, a young lady sitting on the other. They had rose petals all over the table. And there was others sitting around the table, and there was people standing outside around the table. And so the young lady got up and walked over to the young man. And I'm sure some of you all may have seen this video. And the young lady got up and she walked over to the young man. She had on a leopard dress, and she began to tell him how much she loved him, how much he meant to her, and how much she could not, be without him. And it was like, he was her every breath. And so all of a sudden, she gets down on her knee and she takes out this ring and she says to him, "Will you marry me?" Now, in the video, the man is standing up. He's looking at her. Everybody in the room is quiet. And he stands up. He slides past her. There's a young lady sitting at the table with a blue. He grabs her hand and they walk out the door. Before they get out the door, the father grabs him in his collar and say, "How can you do this to my daughter? And I should whoop yo, you know what?" And so I'm sure they just proceeded to walk out the door. And I said to myself, what happened to us? Where is the disconnect that we as women feel like that we love somebody so much that we have to get on our knee, take our money, and buy a ring to propose to the man, when God said, "The man who findeth a wife findeth a good thing"? So we did a series called The Expectations of a Woman. And from what I gathered in that video, what would make you think that it's okay for you to go and propose to a man? Because in my feelings, and maybe we need to do a panel on this of all types of women and different age ranges so we can have this conversation. Because I'm trying to understand, because it happens a lot that women are proposing to men. And how do you get to the point that you feel that it's okay to get down on one knee to propose to a man? Because most of the times when couples are dating, and correct me if I'm wrong, I want y'all to put this in the chat. Let's dialogue about this. Most of the times when couples are dating, somewhere along down the line, there is some conversation that takes place that you want to elevate your relationship to the next level. And most of the time in that conversation, you can kind of gauge whether he's ready to commit or not. So somebody said, "I would never propose marriage to a man." But there are women out here that do. And so in that conversation, if you're having a conversation about marriage and you're saying to him, "We've been dating a certain amount of years, and I think our relationship is going good." And he may say, "Yeah, babe, the relationship is going good. And, I was thinking maybe we could take it to the next level." And he hesitates in the conversation. So what do you all think the hesitation is in the conversation? Because for me, if we're having a conversation about commitment and there is a hesitation, 9 times out of 10, most likely that means that he's not ready to move to the next level. Now, the other part to this is we already know. We know in any relationship, whether it's a healthy relationship, whether it's going anywhere, whether the man wants something in a relationship, but for some of us, we choose to ignore the handwriting on the wall. And we feel that we can change their minds. But if their minds are made up to not commit, that's what it is. I don't care even if you decide, okay, well, I figure I'll trap him this way and I'll tell him that I'm pregnant. That doesn't work neither. Because as we all know, men have left women that they was married to with children. And what we also need to know, if a man wants to settle down with you, you are going to know it. If he feels like you are the love of his life, you are going to know it. And I say this, even to my son's father. I used to tell him this all the time. I used to say, let me explain this to you because I want you to understand in your language. So you decide to buy a car, right? Most men who decide to buy a car, they already know what color they want. They know what the interior gonna look like. They know what type of engine they want. They know what type of tires they want on them. They know the make, the model. They know all that stuff. Before they even get to the dealership, they know what they want, right? And once they get that car, they wash it, they wax it, clean the tires, they change the rims, they put a little tint on the windows, take care of the inside, add a little extra gadgets to it, right? That's because that's something that they want. That is their treasure. That is close to their heart. That is something that they love. The same thing with a relationship and a woman. The same effort that those men put into that car is the same effort they would put into that relationship, if it's something that they want. So let's not fool ourselves in thinking that they can't make a decision. The decision can't be quick because 9 times out of 10, they know what they want and what they don't want. Just like we should know what we want and what we don't want in relationship. We should know that. But we're getting to a point now, and as somebody said in the comment earlier, it's thirsty. And for me, and somebody may disagree to what I'm saying, that it's not thirsty, but why would you, I'm still trying to understand what would make you go to that level that you would propose to a man and then he would embarrass you because you're thinking that you love him so much and he's not reciprocating the feelings. And then he gets up from the table and clearly the lady that sits at the table is the one that he's been messing with. That's the one he chose over you. But you have set up this elaborate dinner. You invited all these individuals. And I'm sure that she is crushed. I'm sure she went home broken. And I'm quite sure she went home questioning what happened. What went wrong? What did I do? What could I have done better? And the answer is nothing. Let's be realistic. There's nothing you could have done better. There's nothing you could have done because clearly his mind was made up to whom he wanted to be with. And that is a hard pill for some of us to swallow. It's so hard. And sometimes it's best to be by yourself until you figure out some things. If you're in a relationship and it's not working, you get out of it and then you jump into something else thinking that's going to be better, but you haven't healed the broken places that's within you. So before you get out of something and go through something, heal the broken places that are within you. And then if it don't work, don't beat yourself up about it. Ask yourself the questions. What was it that I missed? because clearly there was something that was missed, or something that you saw or heard, or decide to turn a blinded eye and a deaf ear. Because believe me, the signs are there. But some of us are we're so in love. We want to be in a relationship so bad because maybe we see our friends or our family members that's in relationships, and we want that same feeling. We want to feel love. We want to feel special. And I get it. I'm a woman too. But I'm not settling for less than my worth. I'm not doing that. I'm not going to be in acceptance of what you want to dish out to me just so I can say I have a husband or I have a man. So why would you go around and say I have a husband and I have a man and I'm miserable in a relationship? It's not benefiting me none. I'm not getting anything from it. Matter of fact, it makes me feel worse than I normally would. So if I'm feeling bad, if I'm entangled into something, I might as well be by myself. So when we did the expectations of a woman, we have to sit down as women and figure out what are our boundaries, what we will accept and what we won't accept, what our likes, what's our dislikes, what is good for us and what's not good for us. That's what we have to figure out for ourselves. And I believe if we learn how to do that, we take our time. We take our time and don't rush into anything. Get to know the individual. Get to know whether they love you for you. Because let's face it, some men come to you, and if they know you got a good job, they know you drive a nice car, they know you got a nice house, then they just try to latch on. And I'm not categorizing all men into one bucket because you can't, because every man is different. All I'm saying is pay attention to the warning signs when they show up. Know what's healthy for you and know what's not healthy for you, because it's all about you. That's it. Your happiness, your peace of mind, your wholeness, your healthiness of a relationship. So somebody say, it had to be some sort of red flags that she ignored, which what we as women do sometimes. And that's true. But the question I want to ask, why do we ignore the red flags? What is it within us that we feel that we should look over the red flags? And sometimes we think that if we stay in it, we can change them. And I'm going to say this so we can all be clear. You can't change anybody. The only person who can change is the individual themselves, and they have to want to change. Because if you provoke somebody to do something that you want them to do, it's not going to last that long. And somewhere down the line, when it don't work out, they're going to blame you, because they're going to say the first thing, I did this for you. It wasn't for me. It wasn't about me. I did it for you to get you to shut up, because I got tired of hearing your mouth. I got tired of hearing you nagging and whining and complaining. So I just went on and did it for you so you can stop bugging me about it. But is that what you want out of a relationship? That you want somebody to change for you when they really don't want to change? And then you got to know the type of person you want to be bothered with. If you're mature and the person to whom you're dealing with is immature, that's not a good balance coming out the gate. You can't go in a relationship trying to be somebody's mama neither. They should have been raised already. Bottom line. So, comment. Sometimes you have not learned or been taught the signs to look for, and that's right. So what do you do in that instance when you haven't been taught or learned the signs to look for? What do you do in that instance? Then ask questions. If you're unsure of something, ask questions. But what we don't want to do, some of us women, because we feel like if we ask questions about something that we're not fully understanding, that somebody gonna look at us side eye, or somebody going to judge us. I don't care how you look at me. I don't care how the side of my face you look at me. I don't care. If I have a question, I'm unsure of something, then I'm going to ask that question. Because you know what my mama used to tell me? She said, people act like their relationship is all that in a bag of chips. They do. They put on a good front and make it seem like it's really wonderful, but follow them home. Now that's what she said. Follow them home and you will find out that it's not all that it's cracked up to be. And I said to myself, but do you know how many of us compare other relationship to our relationship? And you can't compare somebody else's relationship to your relationship. You know why? Because everybody is an individual. And everybody react to things differently. No two people will react the same way. If, say, I had a husband and he cheated on me. Say my niece had a husband and he cheated on her. Say my friend had a husband and he cheated on her. Say my coworker had a husband and he cheated on her. So it's me, my niece, my coworker, and my friend. It's 4 different women who have husbands that have cheated on them. And out of those 4 women, I can bet you, I can guarantee you, they're going to handle it totally different. One of those women is going to take that man back. They're going to go through some things. She's going to struggle with it, but she's going to take that man back. One of those women is going to walk away because she don't have to be bothered with it. And one woman is going to be torn. She don't know if she should take him back or she should walk away. But maybe she'll listen to somebody else who will tell her what she should and should not do. So you see, it's 4 women from all different walks of life. Me, my niece, my friend, and my coworker. And we all have husbands who have cheated. But every one of these women will react to their husband cheating in a different aspect. And we have to understand that no 2 women will react the same way. I don't care what the issue is. We all look at it differently. We all digest it differently. And we all react to things differently. We don't look at the same scenario what I just presented in the same way. And we have to understand that. And there's nothing wrong with that. Because we are individuals. We're individuals. And so the way I look at somebody cheating, you done broke my trust. So now I can't trust you. And I don't care how much you apologize to me. That means I can't trust you. So for me, and this is just an example, I don't want to take you back. But for that woman, say my friend who really loves her husband and they have put the time in together and they have a good household, she's going to contemplate and think about all those things. And she's going to look deep down within herself and she's going to find it within her heart, somewhere in the crevices, in a small little crack in a corner, that she's going to be able to forgive him. Because maybe he proved that he's not going to do it again. So she can forgive him for what he has done to her. So whatever the issue is, we deal with it differently. And we have to understand that. But you have to know the dynamics of your relationship and you have to know who you are. And I always say, know the woman that you are and the grounds that you stand on and let nobody shake that. Because if you know the woman that you are and you know the grounds that you stand on and you know your worth, then I think we can avoid a whole lot of things in our lives. And I think that we can think with more clarity when it comes down to certain things. I don't know where this went, how we got to this point where women feel the need to reverse the roles that God has set up in a specific order. that the man that findeth the wife findeth a good thing. He didn't say the wife that findeth the man. He said the man that findeth a wife findeth a good thing. Now, here is my question to those who's watching, and here is my question to those on replay. If you proposing to that man, then clearly what you're saying, you don't believe in your heart that you're a good thing. Because that's what it says to me. Because, baby, let me tell you, if the relationship is meant to go to the next level, that man will know that you are his good thing. Believe me, he will know that you are his heir. He will know that you are his everything. You ain't got to go to no store and buy no rings. You ain't got to do that. You're going to feel it. You're going to know it. And he's going to show it. Period. Point blank. And I'm not sitting here saying that relationships are all hunky-dory, because they are not. Relationships are work. And it doesn't matter whether it's the husband, the wife, the girlfriend, the boyfriend. Relationships are work in friendships. Relationships are work in families. Relationships are work at jobs. Relationships are work. But you have to put the work in to have the relationship be what it needs to be. And you can't be in a healthy relationship when it's one-sided. When you're putting in all the effort and he reaping all the benefits, that is not a good relationship. And so we need to look in the mirror at ourselves and ask ourselves the question, and be sincere about this question. Do you believe within the heart of who you are that you are a good thing? Ask yourself the question. Do you believe that you are worthy of a man coming to you and say, babe, I want to marry you. I want to spend the rest of my life with you. Do you believe that? Because if you don't believe that this is a healthy relationship, if you don't believe that he loves you like you think he does, maybe that's the reason why the roles are being reversed and the women feeling like they need to do the proposal. Because you loving him more than he loves you. And maybe that's something that you need to look at. I mean, really. And then we also have to look at the examples that we set before our daughters. We have to think about that, because your daughter is looking at you. And I'm prayerful. Hopefully they didn't have no kids that was involved, because that video is going around. And if that is a mother of a young daughter, you know how cruel kids can be. You know how your so-called, what you call friends, but when they make fun of you and your embarrassment, that's not a friend, that's an associate. Because your friend would be there to help you through the hurt and the embarrassment that you just experienced with getting down on your knees in a dress and asking the man to stand up and getting before him and say, babe, I love you with all my heart and soul. You are my world. You are my everything. I can't see myself living without you. It's just me and you. I love you, babe. Would you marry me? And he's looking at you, not stretching. You got his hand, but the other hand is down to his side. He pulls his hand out of your hand and grabs the woman that's sitting at the table and walk out with a whole room full of people. Now, how small do you think she felt in that instance? How embarrassed do you think she felt in that instance? And she's still on her knees with a ring in her hand, asking you, the man, to marry her. We should never allow the roles to be reversed. Men are men for a reason, and we should let them be just that. They know what they want. They know how to go out and get it. And what they want to be with, they're going to be with, whether you propose to them or not. And unless we understand that we are queens, unless we understand that we are that good thing, we're going to keep repeating the things that we do. And I'm not lumping everybody in the same bucket. And I'm not saying every woman is out here proposed to a man, because let me tell you, and God is my witness, if a man is waiting on me to propose to him, he going to be waiting till Jesus come, because that's not happening. Because I am that good thing. And I believe I'm that good thing. I'm not perfect. I have flaws. I have issues. I have mood swings, but so do every woman. There is nobody perfect, not even a man, woman, boy, or child. Nobody is perfect. But people only treat you the way you allow them to. Because can't nobody do nothing to you unless you allow it to be. You want respect? Give it to get it. But you're not going to disrespect me. Now, that was disrespectful. That was cruel. That was demeaning. That was embarrassing. And this is how women end up broken. Now, will she trust again? That's a question. And hopefully she has a good circle of friends that will help her get through what she experienced. But she's going to go through some things. I'm sure of it. There are some people that's going to have some conversations, and they're not going to be positive words. They're going to be mean and cruel. They're going to make jokes about it. You got down on your knees and you proposed to him, and he got up and walked away with another woman. Now, here's the funny part to me. You're proposing, but the girl that he really liked was sitting at the end of the table by him all the time. So here's a question. How many of us who have invested in a relationship, and later on you found out that man had the one that he really loved in your environment, at your function, whatever? How many? Because it's common. It happens. But again, men only do what we allow them to. That's it. Set your stage when you get in that relationship. Lay out your do's and your don'ts. Bottom line. Tell them what you're looking for. Tell them your expectations. I'm not getting in a relationship just to be your revolving door for sex. That's not happening. I'm looking for a committed relationship. And if that's not what you want, then keep it moving, because that's my expectations. And so we as women, we have to stand firm on some things. Bottom line. We don't have to take anything. And if you're not in a relationship, it's okay. While you're not in a relationship, work on you. Work on becoming your better, best self. Work on healing those broken places. Work on things that makes you happy. That's it. Work on your business. Work on your goals and your dreams. Do that. And while you working on yourself, the Lord will send you somebody that's going to be worthy of who you are as a woman. But never, ever, ever devalue who you are as a woman. You are worth so much more. And if can't nobody see your worth, then they ain't worth having you, period. I may not be a Pepsi Cola bottle shape, but honey, I am worth it. I am worth it. And I will wait until he comes along. And I want y'all to understand, I've been waiting a long time. I am 61 and I will still wait. Understand me when I say I'm not desperate to have anything. In the meantime, I'm living my best life. And that's what we should do. Live our best life. Live your best life. That's it. That's all. Work on who you are as an individual. There are some things we need to clean up within us. There are some things we need to clean up within us. And sometimes we don't even realize we need to clean up those things. But I said in expectation one, when I asked the girls, do you have a chest that is locked, that you are scared to unlock and face what you have locked away? And if you can open that chest and you can unlock what you didn't pack away for years and years that you don't want to face, and you can open that chest and face it, then you can heal some things. And then some things won't bother you anymore. They won't. And when that man walks out of your life, you got to say to yourself, he wasn't the man for me, and keep it moving. Take the lessons in a relationship, learn those lessons, and improve for the next time. It may be a mess, but get the message out of the mess. That's the purpose. This is how we grow to be better. This is how we grow to be better. And every day is a learning experience. We have to know that. We're not perfect. We're not perfect mothers. We're not perfect friends. We're not perfect family members. We are not perfect. I'm not perfect. I learn every day. But let me tell you, every obstacle I've went through, I've learned from. And you got to know what you go through, it has a purpose to get you to your next destination. Everything that's good to you ain't good for you. And if we realize that, we can cut some umbilical cords quickly. And as much as we want to be loved, some love is not worth having. And it's not really love. It's just a strong lust and a heavy like. That's it. That's all. So ladies, think about it. Think about it. Look in that mirror at yourself and talk to yourself. If you're not in a relationship, or if you're in a dating environment, you have to talk to yourself. What are your expectations? Don't go in there just going along with anything. Set the groundwork. Set it. You're in this too. Don't let nobody dictate something that you're not ready to do. Bottom line, you're in the relationship too. But you got to know your wants. You got to know your likes and your dislikes. And you got to know what you're going to accept and what you're not going to accept. And can't nobody do that but you. Your mama can't do it. Your sister can't do it. Your friend can't do it. Your cousin can't do it. Your coworker can't do it. This is a self journey. All right? That's all I want to say. Okay? So I hope this has helped somebody. I hope it has provoked some type of thought process. And I hope whatever we talk about help us to become our better, best selves. I'm not here to judge anybody. I'm not here to tell you what you can and cannot do. We're just having plain conversations. And in conversation, we're talking about life. And life happens. And our problem today is we don't want to talk about a lot of things. We like to shove it up under the rug and think if we keep it up under the rug, it's going to get better. No, all it's going to do is buckle the rug and eventually you're going to trip over it. So why shove it up under the rug? Just deal with it and move on. That's it. And that's all. That's all you got to do. Just deal with it and move on. It is what it is. We all go through something, but we just have to learn how to deal with it. And again, if they're for you, they're for you. And if they're not, they are not. Say thank you for the lesson, because that's what I tell those who walk out of my life. I thank you for the lesson. I've learned a valuable lesson. And now I know especially, definitely what I don't want to be bothered with. And I'm not going to be bothered with a liar. I'm not going to be bothered with a cheater. I'm not. And I'm not going to be bothered with an abuser. Now, those three things I'm definitely not going to be bothered with, because I don't have to. It's my life. And if you can't add value to the relationship, then I don't need you in my life. So, and if we can't work on something together to reach a common goal, you're not the one for me. As much as I love you or like you, I can cut you off and let you go. I can free the bird out the bird cage. Bye-bye. Fly away. And 9 times out of 10, when they leave you because they didn't went through all the stuff they went through, they'll get it right and they'll find somebody down the line and they'll go ahead and marry them. And then some of us question why he married you. He wasn't for you. You was the lesson he needed to learn with. So he got the lesson from you and he got better and he moved on. So say, I was a good teacher. Let's say that. I was a good teacher. Now I molded him. He's better for somebody else. He just wasn't for me. And I'm okay with that. I'm okay with that because I'm not going to be in nobody's relationship and be miserable. And I will never be married to anybody that I hate to come home to. I'm not doing that. It's easy to get into marriage and it's hard as heck to get out of it. Think about it, ladies. All right. So that's all I have. And I hope you have enjoyed the conversation because I've enjoyed it myself. And on the replay, I hope you all enjoyed as well. And I'm going to try to get some ladies together so maybe we can do a panel about this. And if anybody wants to be a part of the panel, send me an email at number2awomansheart@gmail.com. 2awomansheart is all one word at gmail.com. All right. Don't forget to follow us on all the social media outlets. That's Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, Tumblr, Pinterest, TikTok. Subscribe to the YouTube channel. Check out the website, toawomansheart.com. And the social media outlet for women. If you have a business, especially brand your business, network, share life moments. Facebook has been tripping lately. We all know that. And so that is a social media outlet specifically for women. All right. And go to the Amazon affiliate store, levelup4you.com. That store is going to be able to, will help us to help single women and women of domestic violence. All right. So I hope everyone has enjoyed this conversation this evening. And I'll talk to you later.